life, love, relationships.
Wait, we're gonna give away all our secrets?
Welcome to the Man Perspective
With K-Man.
and the Dawn. Today's Man Perspective, the topic is, what can we do to prevent future gun violence in America? What can we do to prevent future gun violence in America?
So I look at that twofold, right? Because you have your gun violence by someone who got their firearms legally, but then you have your gun violence from someone who got their guns illegally, right? And let's face it, generally, I believe more criminals get their guns illegally, right? Because otherwise, why would you want a paper trail for your firearm and then go commit a crime? That's dumb. That comes right back to you immediately.
You know, people are dumb anyway.
Yeah, they can be.
Just to even want to do a crime with a gun, that alone.
Exactly.
You're stupid.
Exactly.
You know,
From an aspect of the illegal firearms, they need to crack down on that. And I think they need to worry about that more than trying to put more legislation on the law-abiding firearms owners. Now, with that being said, for the legal gun owners, I think what they need to do is find a way, and I don't have any ideas on how to do this. This is just my perspective. They need to better assess not only a person's potential criminal background, right? And that's, when you go through your standard check for your firearms ID card, they run your name through the FBI database, the NCIC, and all that fun stuff, right? To prove you don't have a criminal history. But what they also need to do is find a way to assess a person's mental status, their mental stability. Because you could be, for lack of a better term, a nutcase, right? You could be mentally unstable, but you don't have any crimes in your past, right? At this given moment, more than likely, you're going to legally be given the right to purchase a firearm. But like we've seen, that person snaps and then they go commit a crime with that firearm. Now, that could have been avoided by assessing that person's mental health and mental stability, assessing it, and granted, there may always be someone who slips through the cracks. But in a perfect situation, that person could then be denied the right to buy a firearm because they failed the mental health check. They should probably also look through their social media to see if they've made any kind of threats on social media. Now, listen, Facebook is the world's largest facial recognition database. The DMV uses it to compare your name, picture to what's out there on the web. Anyone who doesn't think that is not a facial recognition database, I invite you to do your research because it absolutely is. It's used by federal, local, all levels of law enforcement and the DMV.
ATF.
Exactly. So if you have access to go look up a person on Facebook to confirm their photo, then you should go check out their posts too. We're in winter. It's cold outside. So cuddle up on the couch, light a fire, and tune in to the Man Perspective.
Hope you got your pillows and your blanket. Snuggle up with the Man Perspective and learn all you can about your significant other. The Man Perspective with K-Man
and the Dawn.
But this is the problem, though. Now, let's look at this from a different perspective. Guy walks into the store. He wants to buy a rifle. He goes in. You got some ID. Shows him his driver's license, right? Like you said, for different regions now, like if you was down in, say, Alabama or Atlanta or North Carolina, South Carolina, or anywhere in the South, right?
Mm.
There are no magazine limitations.
Yeah.
So guy can walk in there, get a 30 round, AR, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they run his background check,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which, like I said, if he hasn't done a crime, yeah, he's going to pass with flying colors.
Yeah.
But this is the problem, though. When they give him that gun, and yes, there is a waiting period, usually 2 or 3 days or so is the waiting period.
I believe so,
Right.
yeah.
I think they say they want to have it longer. Okay. But this is the thing. Once they give that to him, right?
Mm.
There is no way in hell that they know what he's going to use it for.
No. Absolutely not.
Not that they need to ask you, hey, what are you buying this AR for? Or what are you buying this elephant gun? You shooting elephants? You know, I mean, there's no elephant down here, but what do you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? What do you need this thing for? Right?
Yeah.
And then you got a 50 cal, you got a, you know what I mean? 7.76, whatever. It's like you shooting torpedoes. Like, where you going to war? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal? But don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm all for gun owners. But how can we make sure that when he leans across that counter and gives that guy that AR 15 or whatever, and this is the thing too that a lot of people don't understand. When they talk about the AR 15 and they talk about assault rifles,
Mhm.
understand that the civilian version is not like the military version.
No.
So when they show you, oh, it's an assault weapon, AR 15, or you see some idiot who goes out there and shoots up a whole bunch of people and he has like 100 rounds, that's a modified
Yeah.
weapon. That's not something you buy right out the store. You can't because it's modified.
In some states, you might be able to get the full variant, but not up here.
Correct. Not up here. You can't do it in the Northeast. Maybe in the South, but even still, even in the South, you know, it's but so much of the variant you can get.
Yeah.
Now, everything else, he can go out and get 100-gallon drum if he wants, and you know, and shoot all day long. Yeah, but out the store, no.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? Like it may come with a 10 or 20 magazine, but of course, he can go on eBay or, you know, go somewhere else and get one of those 500-gallon drums and he can sit there all day
Yeah.
and shoot.
That's true.
But my question is, when that gun shop employee gives that gun to the guy, when he reaches across that counter and hands him that AR-15 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
How can we make sure that he is not going to just take that gun, go to the nearest supermarket or whatever, and just unload on everybody?
That's a hard question to answer.
Right. What can we do, or what has been thought of to do to try to alleviate that threat and hope that he doesn't go on the latest college campus? Because some of them could go right from the gun store, right on the nearest college campus, and bam. You know, so what can we do to make sure that that person doesn't have those tendencies to do that?
I mean, that's a hard question to answer because it you know, the process varies state to state. And I don't really want to start giving ideas that harden the process, right? Because it shouldn't be that hard considering it's a constitutional right. The only way I could think of, and again, this is just my perspective on it, mental health check. Maybe along with that waiting period, you have to be evaluated by a psychiatrist. Maybe as part of the NCIC background check, they do a sweep through your social media. There's a way to automate
That
it.
works.
I mean, you know, you just input into the system keywords, the flag, and, you know, then a human being would have to do the final assessment on it. But, I mean, that's the only real way I can think of, because when it comes down to it, as predictable as people are, people can be pretty unpredictable, especially if their head's not in the right place. Listen, we'll be right back. I got to change my mask and use a gallon of hand sanitizer, and then I'm going to come back and we'll get right back into it.
But it brings me back to this one question, right? Let everybody carry.
Well, yeah, that.
I mean, who's sane? Like I said, let everyone who carries who's sane. Let me rephrase that. Let everyone who carry who's sane.
Yeah.
Okay. And who has the ability to purchase. Now, of course, if you're a criminal or what have you, and you're a felon, of course, you can't purchase any firearms. So therefore, you're not supposed to carry any firearms.
Yeah.
But like you said, they're getting it anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? They pretty much getting it anyway. But I feel that if I'm able to carry, you able to carry, a couple other people are able to carry, when that felon tries to go in there and do something stupid, like rob something or rob a store, everybody's going to pull out. See, that's the whole deal. See, everybody pulls out.
Well, that becomes a crime deterrent then.
Right. So if you get that idiot or that person who thinks, well, you know what, I'm going to buy this AR-15 and I'm going to go to the nearest supermarket, Walmart or whatever, and I'm going to unload on everybody. Okay, but guess what? When you try to, as soon as you come through the door with it, everybody's pulling out their gun and we're firing. And we're firing. And so understand the consequence of it.
Yeah.
You know, understand the consequences of it. Now, we just did an episode not too long ago about Tennessee being one of the first states that's allowing all their residents to
Yeah.
carry. No permit, no license, nothing. If you able to purchase a firearm, damn it, you can carry. Lessen the paperwork, you can carry.
You know what I would be interested to see, right? Crime statistics of, say, a place like California, New York, New Jersey, one of the northeastern states, to see, because, those states, it's very hard to get a gun and you're not going to be allowed to carry it, right? I'd like to see crime statistics from one of those 3 states related to firearms or guns, right? Versus the crime statistics in a state like Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee,
In the
South, Louisiana, something of that nature. I mean, I think even Florida is pretty lax with gun laws. They actually let their people be free. So I would like to see the crime stats versus California, New York, New Jersey, compared to one of the southern states that isn't so hard pressed to, prevent people from carrying or owning a firearm, just to see what it truly comes down to. Because I have a gut feeling that the crime stats related to gun laws, there's going to be more gun crimes in states like California, New York, and New Jersey compared to those southern states where everybody can carry without being told no.
Correct. But you know what? This theory has been proven.
I'm sure it has.
Overseas. You know what they did overseas? In Australia? They had Parliament make a law and they took everybody's weapon. Remember that? Long time ago. They like in the 80s or whatever. 80, 90, they decided to take everybody's weapon. You had to volunteer to give it up. If you didn't, you was getting arrested. Okay? And they went over there, they took everybody's weapon, and guess what happened?
Crime went up.
Home invasions went up. You understand? And they had crazy laws like you had to store the gun one way and the ammo in another room and all this stupidness. You understand? You couldn't store it together. And
it was like New Jersey gun
home invasions went up. And the thing about it was that they couldn't even define what home invasion was. Because it wasn't even on the books, really. Home invasion really wasn't on the books like that.
But I mean, it makes sense, though, because if you have no way to defend yourself and people know that, or criminals know that, you're a target then. You're an easy target.
Right. And they was home invasion all day long. And it got to the point where it was so bad, they had to reinstate the law to purchase and give everybody their guns back. Well, of course, what they ended up doing was destroying all the guns that people purchased.
So now everybody had to buy new stuff.
Yeah, they had to buy new stuff and protect their homes and this and that. And it was a mess.
Yeah.
It was truly a
Sounds
mess.
like it.
And now they realize that, no, we all need to carry. That's what I think.
I think so too.
That's the best solution. Everybody carry. You won't have any of this nonsense.
Well, you'll have a lot less of it. I mean, you can never guarantee it's going to stop completely, but I think criminals would then think twice about freely committing crimes because in the back of their head, everybody else may have a gun too. So do I really want to do this?
That's right.
Hey ladies, I know it's hot outside right now and you're on the beach in bikinis or in the club at night tearing it up, but cuffing season's coming. So, you get your man, you get on the couch, and you listen to The Man Perspective.
With K-Man and the Don. What I think would be the deterrent is if I'm able to carry and I'm right behind that guy who decides to go get himself that AR or whatever, and he says, hey, I'm going to go with it, and I happen to be in that store, guy, you better believe I'm going to pull the trigger on you to make sure that you're not going to sit here and get rid of everybody.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because if you're going to have an AR too, I'm going to have an AR as well.
Yeah.
You understand? And if I see you in there shooting up, trust me, I'm going to come in there to take you down. And me and everybody else that's going to be in there. You know what I mean? Just even better because that's more support, more help, and, everybody protecting everybody. And you won't have all these big mass shootings anymore because soon as somebody try to go in there, everybody unloads.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Everybody unloads. It's just that simple. And I get it because, the police can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10, they're not because it takes them time to get there as well when these mass shootings come. And they do get there within a minute or two. But still, if I'm there and you going to pull out or even just think about trying to pull out and get ready to shoot or whatever, I'm taking you out.
Yeah.
Without a question. I'm not asking you put your hands up and no, I'm pulling the trigger on you as I should to save the lives in that building. Yeah. Okay? And the same thing in the workplace. I mean, we had some shootings where a guy went to one of his offices. I don't know if you heard about it. He went to an office.
In California?
And yeah, in California, he went to an office and then because there was people he didn't like or whatever, and he decided to start shooting.
Yeah, I think I heard about that this morning.
What would have been the
Or
difference?
yesterday.
Right. What would have been the difference if everybody in there had a gun?
He
to protect
probably wouldn't have
themselves?
done it.
See my
Yeah.
point? Okay. Take them
Yeah.
out. Take them out quick, fast.
Agreed.
And as far as I'm concerned, any of these guys who are mass shootings, none of them should be coming out of there in handcuffs.
Yeah.
They should be coming out in a body bag. I mean, I'm being serious. They should really all come out in a body bag.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be coming and going in there and talk about they're going to shoot all these people. No, they should be coming out with a body bag.
I agree.
Okay. And not make it. Okay. That's where the law needs to change. And if they do that, I think this would definitely be a better world. Make sure everyone carry, and trust me, we can alleviate a lot of issues on some of these mass shootings and curb this.
Agreed.
So that's the man's perspective, my perspective, the man's perspective. And hey, get at us and let us know what your perspective is on whether or not what we can do to curb these mass shootings and what we could do to curb gun violence in America. The man perspective. Now you heard our perspective. It's time to hear yours. Get at us at themanperspective@gmail.com.
Or use the hashtag #TheManPerspective.